Hello everyone, welcome back to the Bookcase of Doom. My name is Jane, and this is Alice. She's right here. Up. Right, so we've got two books with very similar names and very similar covers, and I'm assuming very similar premises that came out last year. We've got The Maid by Nita Prose, and we've got The Handmaid by Frida McFadden. And The Handmaid is a first in a series. I don't know how many books there are going to be, but I am sure that the second one is out already. I'm going to read both of these, one after the other, and I'm going to compare them and just talk about them. And this vlog is for no other reason than for me to have a stupid premise to film something and to read two thrillers that I really want to read. So I am going to read this one physically. I just bought it for myself, and I bought this beautiful bookmark as well. And I'm going to read The Handmaid on my phone. I already started it. It is about a young woman who spent the last 10 years of her life in prison for unknown so far to us reasons. And she's applying for this job as a housekeeper in this very rich family's big house. She is sure that she's not going to get a job, and she's very surprised when she does get the job. And from the very beginning, something seems off. The gardener, who only speaks Italian, tries to warn her of some danger. The room that she's going to be living in, because she's going to be a live-in housekeeper. Sorry, I'm really running on empty and just forgetting words and saying words that I shouldn't be saying. Anyway, the room that she's going to be staying in, because she's going to be a live-in. Can you stop trying to eat my lunch? Okay. The room that she's going to be staying in is locking only from the outside. And something seems off about the family. That's all I know so far. I'm not going to read the synopsis for this one, because I'm pretty sure that something very similar is in this book. And I know that, yes, Lisa Jewell blurbed this, but honestly, I'm not paying much attention to blurbs these days because I've been disappointed and burned quite a few times for that. Well, anyway, let's just keep reading. Let's start with The Handmaid, and I'll update you soon. Can you stop? Morning, everyone. Well, it's noon already, but I did wake up really early today, had coffee with a student. It was lovely. We had a great talk. And now I have 45 minutes until my other students start at the school. So I want to read for that 45 minutes and keep crocheting, because I'm crocheting a sweater for my friend's elderly dog because she gets cold. And I also want to put my audiobook on and try to clean up my room a little bit, because there is yarn everywhere. And I need to put it in a box and put the box in the closet, because that is annoying. The Handmaid is excellent so far. Pretty good thriller, standard beginning. Well, everything so far is the same way as I told you. And there's a second book called The Handmaid's Secret. I don't know, The Maid and The Handmaid and the covers are so similar, and they come out in the same year. How does that happen? Like, how did The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle come out in the same year? Do you think that maybe it's a conspiracy theory and they're doing it on purpose? I don't know, maybe I'm insane. Okay, anyway, I'm going to listen to the audiobook a little bit and crochet and clean up, and then I'm going to update you before work again. Hello, all my clips today are going to be low energy, because first of all, yesterday I had 8 students, and by the end of the day, my voice was shot to hell. Like, I started coughing, I couldn't speak. So I was drinking tea, or hot tea with milk, and because 8 students a day, my throat can't take that. But I do like to teach, so anyway, I'm reading The Handmaid by Frida McFadden, and I really like it, but there's a thing. So it's this rich family, a very rich man and his wife, and their little daughter, and this woman who comes to work for them. She starts to notice all these weird things. This woman, the mistress of the house, Nina, she is incredibly volatile and high maintenance. Her mood changes like that. She, 1 second, she's like hugging the main character. Sorry, what's the main character's name? Oh, wow, I forgot. Millie. Her name's Millie. Sorry. So 1 second, Nina is hugging Millie and telling her how they cannot handle the house without her. She's like gifting her clothes and being so nice to her. And then the next moment, she's yelling at her because she's done something wrong. Like, she destroys the kitchen because she thinks that Millie has thrown out her PTA notes. She tells Millie that her daughter has a peanut allergy, but then the husband tells her that she doesn't. And Millie goes to snoops through the medicine cabinet and finds what does she find? Does she find haloperidol? Like, she finds some antipsychotics, and she overhears some women talking about her mistress of the house, and decides that there's like some mental health issues there. Honestly, if in the end it's just gonna be like, oh, she's bipolar, so she's crazy, I am gonna throw a riot, because I'm really sick of this plot twist, especially as someone who was, yes, I was wrongly diagnosed as bipolar, because as it turns out, a lot of ADHD women get wrongly diagnosed as bipolar at first. That's a thing that I discovered. And it's not good. It's not good to do that without any context, without, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a bad twist. Anyway, it better be paranormal or something like that is what I'm saying. But I am enjoying it, so that's good. Okay, so I'm halfway through The Housemaid, and I have a couple of predictions. So this is going to be slightly spoilery, so I'm going to put a big spoiler here on the screen. So if you haven't read this yet and you want to read this, you can skip this section. I'm thinking that it is either just a simple, the wife is crazy and she's just acting crazy. She's like, it's going to be mental illness and I'm going to be mad about it. The second one is that it's some kind of paranormal thing. There has been no hints towards anything paranormal, but I have read books before where the paranormal aspect of the book came out in the second half, closer to the end, and it was still good. So I'm not ruling that out. And the third one is that the husband, who is a very nice, attentive man who treats Millie with respect, he doesn't like boss her around. If she drops and breaks something, he helps her clean it up. He talks to her like a normal person. Is that he and his wife are in on it together, and they are planning to make it seem like she's crazy to lure in people for some like nefarious reason. This wouldn't be very new, but I think that there are quite a few things that hint that this isn't what's happening, because other people like neighbors and other moms at the school where their daughter goes have been talking about Nina being not okay in the head. So I don't know. And honestly, I think it's better be not any of those things. It better be something that I'm not thinking of. All of you watching this video probably think I'm so dumb, because the Frida McFadden book is called The Housemaid, not The Handmaid. Why? When the hell did I think it was called The Handmaid? Is it because of The Handmaid's Tale? Is it because of that movie, The Handmaiden? Is it what? Basically, it's called The Housemaid. Like, I've probably already, if you're watching this edited video, I've inserted the cover of the book into the video like 7 times by now, and I just realized that it's called The Housemaid. That's fine. So I'm a little bit stupid. It's okay. Also, I'm starting to realize that I really don't like the cover, because The Maid by Nita Prose, it's all, well, one second, they're very close design-wise, right? Cool colors, not very close, but kind of close. I like this one more because, first of all, I like this color better. And I just like the design choice here. Oh, Regency Grand Hotel. So the maid, it's going to be a maid at a hotel. It's not going to be in a house. And the housemaid, I don't like the wooden texture. It looks not well. It does not look well. Also, the blurb, behind closed doors, she sees everything, has almost nothing to do with the actual plot. It's not about a housemaid who snoops on her owners and finds out their secrets. So what was the thought there? Okay, I have another prediction. What if the husband, the nice, lovely, attentive, calm person, is actually the bad guy, and there's something wrong with him because Millie keeps getting... Okay, spoiler incoming, right? Here, big spoiler, leave now. When it's gone, you can keep listening. So they sleep together, and he kicks out his wife because they've been having problems for a very long time, and she started acting really weird. And so he kicks her out, and Millie keeps getting these calls from a blocked number and she thinks that it's Nina calling her. And then it's just like a spam call. But then she gets this call from a mechanized voice saying, stay away from Andrew, forgot the last name. So I'm thinking that maybe there's something wrong with the husband. And also, I keep thinking about it because there's a second book as well. So what kind of plot twist could there be? I mean, if there's something wrong with the husband, if he turns out to be the bad guy, it reminds me a little bit of The Wife Between Us. And also, this so far seems a little bit like a better Verity, because I did read Verity. That's the only Colleen Hoover book I read, and I never want to read another one of her books, God forbid. But I read it because it was a thriller and it sounded sort of interesting, and I decided, well, I should read at least one of her books so I can make my own opinions. And it was terrible, and but the thing where the hired person gets into a relationship with a husband when there's something wrong with the wife, it kind of reminds me of that. So gonna keep going, keep reading. Hello, good morning. So I'm almost done with The HOUSEMAID by Frida McFadden. And actually one of the things that I predicted as a possibility has happened. And spoiler, possibly spoiler, one of the things that I predicted as a possible had happened. So that's interesting. I mean, I have read this plot twist before, and something much more interesting has to happen in order for me to be really enamored with this book. But now I have to go and run some errands, and I'm going to be on the underground for a long time. So I'm going to take the Maid with me and start it on the underground, since when I have to take a book with me somewhere, the size of the book is what I decide on, not which one I want to read right now, which is annoying. But, I'll be back. So I finished The HOUSEMAID. Yeah, Alice finished it with me. And I have a couple of questions. Question 1. Why were there so many plot twists? At the about halfway mark, there was a plot twist that I kind of predicted, and it changed the course of the book, which was okay. And then at the very end, in like the last 50 pages, there were so many plot twists that explained a bunch of different things, but I just don't understand why there were so many. It kind of disrupted the whole book for me. And the second book is just going to be the housemaid character kind of doing the same thing she did in this book. I don't want to spoil anything, but I read the synopsis for the second book, and I don't think I want to read it because it feels to me like it's just going to be something very similar, and it's fine. Like, it's great if you enjoyed that and you want to read the second one, but I think I'm done with the series. It wasn't bad. It was not a bad domestic thriller. It had a couple of, I could say interesting plot twists, but like they weren't that interesting. 3 stars. It was fine. It was all right. I'm glad I read it. And I don't see it as that big of a boom. I don't know why it made so many waves. And now I'm reading The Maid by Nita Prose. I'm on page 35. And so far, I really, really like it. This is about Molly Maid. Maid is her last name. And she's also a maid in this hotel, the name of which I forgot. And she loves being a maid. It's her thing. She talks about it in such a beautiful way. And she is clearly neurodivergent. Molly is neurodivergent. 2024, I 100% think that that's true. She's making noises. I love my dog. Right. Molly discovers a guest dead in his room. And I suppose she's going to start investigating. She has this very unique way of viewing things. She says that when she's cleaning a room, she says that she is going to return it to a state of perfection. And the way she speaks, like she speaks about her mind in the same way, that she has this ability to put away bad thoughts and restore her mind to a state of perfection. And it's just beautiful, and I love it. So it's very, very, a very quick read so far. So I'm enjoying this, and I'm already enjoying this much more than I enjoyed The HOUSEMAID, I think. Hello, I finally have some time to myself so I can read. I'm on page 139 of The Maid, and I have a few things to say. Thing number 1, I am stupid. Because previously I said that Molly's last name is Maid because of this passage in the very first chapter. I'm a maid at the Regency Grand Hotel, and my name is Molly Maid, a joke. Before I took the job, Molly was just a name given to me by my estranged mother, who left me so long ago that I have no memory of her, blah, blah, blah. So I read that as my name is Molly Maid, which is funny because I'm also a maid. Her name is Molly Gray, which comes out when she finds a guest dead in his suite, and she is questioned by police about it. and that's where she's introduced in her full name. Why did I think that her name was Molly Maid? Am I dumb, or would have many others smarter than me people also thought that? I don't know. I don't want to dwell on that. I am really enjoying this. This is so fun. Molly is such a fun narrator. It's, well, what it says in all the blurbs and all the reviews, I think, and I agree. She is definitely neurodivergent. She is an incredible voice. She's this great personality. She used to live with her grandmother, and her grandmother was her best friend. She was her whole world. And when her grandmother died, she became this lonely person. She takes the world quite literally. She takes people dead on their word. What they say is what she hears. She doesn't really understand double entendres and stuff like that. And I find that very interesting because sometimes it can be a little hard for me to understand when people are making fun of me or when they are not making fun of me and they're actually being sincere, because I have this weird perception thing and I kind of feel connected to Molly in that. Molly is delightful. She is so sweet, and I already know that she's in deep. She's gone into this whole thing without actually knowing what's going on, and I really, really hope that everything is going to be good for her. I am enjoying this very much, and it's safe to say much more than The Housemaid. And now I think I'm going to go and crochet myself a sweater a little bit. I'm going to start it. I started a sweater for myself yesterday with this cute melange yarn that I got, but after I crocheted about this much, I put it on my skin and I realized that it was very scratchy and wasn't going to be pleasant to wear. So instead, I'm just making bookmarks from this yarn. Hello! As you can see, I moved some stuff around. That's for another day. But I'm on page, what page am I on? I'm on page 236 of the Maid. And I was just reading this on the Underground, and it made me so angry that I just had to, because none of these cunts deserve Molly. She's in serious trouble. And because, okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but the things that are happening here, they make me so angry because she is bullied by adults the way she was bullied by children when she was a child. And it's reminiscent of the way I was bullied as a child. And it just makes me want to go inside of this book and punch everybody in the guts on her behalf. I'm okay. This book is amazing. I love it so damn much. But also another thing, I don't trust publishing anymore, I think. Here's what it says here. You don't see her, but she sees you. Okay, this is a misrepresentation of what is actually happening in the book. Because if you pick up a book called The Maid and you read on the back of the book that the maid finds a VIP guest dead in his room and then something happens, and you read this, you don't see her, but she sees you, you're going to assume, well, I'm assuming that somebody was going to assume, can you hear echo? Yeah, my room's echoing now because I moved the furniture around. That's an issue, probably. I hope the sound is okay on this, because I'm just filming with the camera sound. Anyway, this is a misrepresentation of what is actually happening in this book. Because Molly is not the kind of maid that's just gonna like sneak around and gather information on the guests, and she notices everything about everyone, and she knows what's going on. No, she's just a good person who takes pride in her work. She works really hard, and she just got herself by accident into a bad situation because people took advantage of her. It's not this thing where a maid is gathering information on all the guests and then she walks around and tries to solve the murder. This is misrepresentation. Publishing, fix yourself. This is not even the first time that something like this happens. This is going to bite me in the ass when I try to publish my book, right? Good evening, my friends. I'm finally done with work and I look how I look because I'm so tired, but it's fine because I finished The Maid by Nita Prose and I'm giving it 5 stars. It was delightful. Molly Gray is a clearly neurodivergent character who sees the world very differently from others. She was raised by her grandmother and she has this very formal, beautiful way of speaking that is seen by other people as antiquated and just silly. People talk behind her back, people bully her sometimes, and when she was a child it was hard for her as well, like that. I looked up quite a few sources. I even asked the author Nita Prose on Twitter about it. She didn't respond, but she doesn't have to respond. Like, it's completely her right not to respond to any questions about her book. But from what I know about autism and from my personal loved ones that have autism, I know that autistic people are all very different, and in everyone it manifests differently, like any other neurodivergency. But from what I know about autism and my experiences with my loved ones, I feel like Molly was written to be autistic. And again, I'm not saying I'm an expert on that or anything like that. It's just the way it read to me. And I even found discussions online, people asking, is Nita Prose autistic? Does she know what she's talking about? Is the rep good? Does it ever specifically say that Molly is autistic? And no, and no. So even with that said, I think that it was done beautifully, organically. Molly grows a lot throughout the story, and the friend group that she acquires by the end of the book is one of my favorite groups of people in a novel for a very long time. It's just a very delightful story. It's a delightful detective story, and I liked the plot twist at the end as well. I did not predict it, and I think it was good, was well done. And there's a sequel called The Mysterious Guest, and I really, really, really want to read it. 2.5 stars, 5 stars. You can clearly see my winner here. I don't know why 2 books with such similar covers, similar names, and similar marketing around them would come out again in the same year, very close to each other. It's the 7 and 7 husbands and deaths and stuff, like all over again. But the more I think about it, the more I kind of lean towards the conspiracy of sorts, where it's not that nobody in publishing talks to each other and they're idiots because this happened. It's that everybody talks to each other, and this happened specifically so that we would all talk about it if we notice, buy both books, because if you get interested in this one at first, then you find out about this one, you see it displayed next to this one at Barnes & Noble or something, and you think, oh, I already was going to read this one, maybe I'll pick up this one as well. Or you can completely switch from this one to this one. So being so similar in presenting themselves, these books might actually be helping each other with sales. The truth is out there. In conclusion, I am very much glad that I read both of these and that I got a new favorite character, maybe a new favorite thriller series, because we know that there's going to be a book 2, but we don't know if there's going to be more. And I am very glad that I read this. I'm glad that I read The HOUSEMAID as well. It wasn't, it was just like 5 other thrillers that I've already read. But again, I'm not saying it's bad, that it's not for anyone. If you're just dipping your toes in the domestic thriller genre, it will be perfect for you. And if you like the main character, there's one definitely, and I think 2 more books in that same series with the same main character, so you can enjoy more of her shenanigans. But yeah, this was not for me. This was very much for me. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, for hanging out with me and Alice. Please let me know all the things that you've thought about the video and the books. Have you read them? Do you want to read them? Like, comment, subscribe, all of those things. Thank you, please, very much. And I'll see you soon. Slava Ukraini.